tournament for last second, having to play a lot more games and maps overall. And there was a close moment in the lower quarters when they were facing off against IQ, and we thought maybe last second gets knocked out. But we'll see if they can go ahead and send themselves to another grand finals.
I know. I feel like we're a broken record with this, but it seems like every single time there is a team that goes through the losers bracket and plays better as they go through the losers bracket. And to me, again, that seems like last second. And I have said that before, and the last time I said that, they ended up coming back with a reverse 3-0 in grand finals and winning the entire thing. So we'll see if that can happen again. But again, this is a very different team that they have to fight against Team Char. But we're now going to see where the picks and bans go. We know that some of these teams are particularly good at some maps in particular, but the first ban's going to be Colony Trading Post and Flak Fort once again off the table.
But we do have Underground Command Center coming in for our first pick out from last second, and then Quarry will be our second pick coming out from Char. Or excuse me, not Quarry. I guess Harbor coming in. No, okay, it is actually Quarry. We just got the wrong image there. So Quarry will be our second one as the next phase of bans come in.
All right, so the text here is the correct one. So Thermoplant's banned again, as almost every single match so far. Mountain R&D is banned. Unfortunate. I think it's become my favorite map to watch. And in the end, Harbor City as a decider. I don't know if we've almost ever seen that as a decider, but I'm excited to see it potentially go there. I really do actually hope that we get to see the decider between these two teams because they are, as usual, some of the best. I hope we get to a lot of game threes as we get closer to the ends of these brackets. But just to see where we're starting off, Underground Command Center, it's going to be a destruction mission into a point capture, or sorry, destruction into point capture. Overall, no domination.
And again, I'm super excited when it comes to watching these destruction maps. Like we got to see really highlighted in that last matchup in the winners finals, that the extra objective, that having that extra point that you have to really consider when it comes to team fighting did really kind of prove the difference between our basically our winners finals there. So we're gonna go ahead and take a short break. When we get back, we're gonna have our lobby set up and map number 1 set up underway here in the lower bracket finals. All right, it looks like we are now ready for our first map of the day, or well, in the lower finals, excuse me, between Char and Last Second.
Ooh, and this is a map that we just saw Last Second play very, very recently, so I'm very excited to see how they are going to adapt from their play there. But we've got, I mean, honestly, there's just so much to say about both of these teams. This is a rematch, of course, of the winner's side. I assume that we're going to be seeing a lot of the same picks that both of these teams have been choosing. I guess the big question is, of course, here, the very first point. Sometimes we do see the Gym Snipers. Will we be seeing the Alligator on the Gym Sniper doing extremely well in the last set that we just saw? But on the other side, it doesn't look like Last Second is committing to the Gym Sniper. And of course, they could still switch on the offense.
Yeah, and it feels like less and less on the defensive side, of course, for that Gym Sniper. More teams really relying upon basically, if they get the hold on the waypoint, that's great, but they're playing more for the post plant at that point and really playing around a defensive end in that regard. But here we go with a few more seconds remaining. It is going to be Baronox, of course, starting off on that Gym Sniper. So we'll see if he can get the initial picks. He won't have as much pressure onto him unless Zusi has something to say about it. It can be a little bit difficult to play on the outside with that Zaku 2 range here for the waypoint.
And my correction from earlier, Baronox is not from EU. I don't know why I thought that, but thank you, chat, for correcting me on that. But there will be, like you said, a lot less pressure. Now, it's going to be about playing safe here until there's a pick, and there we go, Blue Jay off the bat. That is going to be the cue, I think, to go in. Omni James also moving in, but gets picked off. And then we're going to see a repair as well. So another pick, though, from the Sniper.
Zusi can able to charge forward, but they end up losing out on 2. Still going back and forth as another repair goes down. Get exponented up. Zusi finally falling here. Enders picks that one up, and that's going to be the waypoint going the way of Char as they charge forward here. This is where it gets a little bit difficult for the Gym Sniper. Oh, if he does hold the corner as well, he can find that initial headshot, take a unit out. It does look like they're trying to push up from the left-hand side. A few members are up there for Last Second.
Well, I was mentioning that, you know, you can technically continue to use Sniper here if your name is Carl Sagan, but maybe not if you're not, isn't Carl Sagan. I still assume that we're going to see Uppy Alligator, of course, just hang on to this. There's no respawn point, so at the very least until a death. But we'll see if there can be any big picks. There can be some nice hallway picks on the Sniper. We'll see a lot of trades going on, and we don't actually see the pick. Gasman going down to that Gym Sniper. Oh, and Wiki, so that is definitely going to show some value.
Still, though, these repairs continue to come in, and so despite being able to find a knock or 2 there, they're not finishing things off too strongly. Now the fight's going back and forth. No one's even been able to touch the Mega Charge quite yet to get that planted down. Zusi being the consistent threat. This is where I'd worry when you're trying to continue to play that Gym Sniper, when you have to worry about the Zaku 2 range just running up on you.
Oh yeah, I mean, we saw Zusi switching to this pick. This is exactly what the what Team Last Second did the last time they were on this map, like 2 sets ago, where Zusi is on the range, Zaku range, the Mono switches back to the Pale Rider, and it works so well for them. Zusi is a beast on this suit that recently got some buffs, and you can just see how difficult it is to track down a Zaku range here, but that is going to be 3 or 4 different picks on the side of, well, Last Second, the members going down, and that is going to be a great opportunity for a plant on the side of Char.
Yeah, take a look at the way that James is playing this, going for the forward spawns, trying to cut off any reinforcements here, and keeping tabs on where they're trying to push up. A lot of damage going across onto Exponent, but he does have that armor gun to try and pop him off, as now they're going to try and contest for that high ground. The Mage Charge still ticking away on that A site, though, and there's the first pick. Zyros sees them funneling into a corner there, takes out 2 with the help of Enders. Blue Jay does answer back for Last Second.
And I gotta say, too, the Gym Sniper G maneuver was able to really show where people were entering, giving that little bit of an advantage. Now, there are some picks, Uppy Alligator being one of them going down, but this is at least going to build him a lot of extra time. There's only 20 seconds left before the Mega Charge goes off, and we are gonna see 2 more picks. I think this might be the time where Last Second just has to run back and make sure that they aren't staggered going to the next choke point.
Ooh, big punch coming in from Last Second to try and create space, but no one can even touch that Mega Charge with 5 seconds remaining. Huge numbers advantage here for Char to finish things off and move on to the second half as they charge forward. Looks like there were a few members in the back, but they were not able to catch them out. Still chasing, though, never mind. It's going to be James with the extra dashes. finds a second pick as well. This could be a huge snowball. Even though they were slowed down there on that first half, they're now moving forward with momentum.
This is actually gigantic. This is huge. This is why sometimes you try to just back up and give up that first point. Is that choke point? The fact that was given up and 3 people went down is huge. And look at this, they're just continuing. Like you said, a death ball. 4 members down on the side of last second. 5 members down. 6 members down. They're just slowly flooding back. And this is definitely going to be a mega charge planted. There's a lot of time that they can work with. They've got the spacing. They've got the waypoint instantly. Everything going the way so far of Team Char.
Yeah, Gasman does have his G-Maneuver, and they have a Screaming Nimbus of their own to utilize for this one as well. Kairos and Kaiser and Zyros on the other side, though. They have the G-Maneuvers to try and counter this one. That punch could be absolutely impressive. Now Wall has to come out for off the Alligator, but he ends up falling here to Zusi, and that is the threat of the Zaku 2 range. Screaming Nimbus has been popped from the last second. They are fighting the pick. The 80s is used by a mono as well, just for the cleanup, and they will be able to basically finish off the entirety of Char and get that make charge defuse.
That is a good amount of time, so at least they're going to be able to get that, and they do still have 2 minutes left, but it looks like an aggressive push here from the side of last second to try and... Oh, they actually did already retake the waypoint. I didn't even see that. That's wild. The Gym Sniper will be switched. We got to see that live. Owen over to the Pale Rider from the side of Baronox, aka Offbeat Alligator, and we'll see if that ends up helping them at all, but last second is really trying to hold on to that waypoint, and just having to retake this waypoint on the side of Team Char is going to mean that they're losing a lot of time on this plan. They lost about 30 seconds that they now have to make back up.
Yeah, they just have to be careful pushing up here. You can see the AoE already going down. They do have the heal back going down to get them topped off, but Zusi is just laying in wait. He's got that Heat Hawk slash. They're trying to bait this one out. Don't go for the peak. Don't let them know. The Mega Charge is here, though. 3 members caught out. There we go. Zusi, unfortunately, can't follow up on the damage. Enough members were able to fall back. Mega Charge now taking away back on that ace site.
That is one of the issues of using Heat-Hawk Slash, that sometimes they just turn around and just kill you before you actually get to any follow-up off of it. If your team's not there, there's the punch. A great counter to that new Gundam G maneuver, and we're actually going to see the other side as well, with Wiki just barely alive inside of this shield. Going to get a little bit of health back, but they're at 30 seconds left to disarm. It looks like mostly everybody's here. I don't think anybody's in a position to stop that. Again, about 50%, 60%, and then the stop. Only one more opportunity for Team Char to make this happen.
73.5% so far. That is the highest progress on the Mega Charge that Char were able to take in the last second. We'll see if they can shut this one out now. As you can see, this is a largely dry fight, but it's James coming up with a Heat Hawk Slash, and Ender's getting close to that Screaming Nimbus to find an opening, and we know how strong that is. Zusi gets focused down, but it looked like it was a bait. The trade's coming on in. James with the Heat Hawk Slash doesn't keep himself alive, but no, with 3 seconds remaining, he tries to get the plant down. It will be last second stopping them, but good amount of progress is still made by Char.
That was a lot. That was for sure a lot, especially on a map like this. It is going to need to not be a full destruction of the second Mega Charge site, but at least like 75% of it to get that guaranteed win here for last second. Not the easiest thing to do by any margin. This was a lot of brawls, and you can see that, oh my gosh, the damage is really split evenly. Maybe, minus like Kaiser, who of course was playing a little bit more of a defensive role, but on that side of Team Char, they are just, everybody's around that 20k range. David, of course, just popping off of that new Gundam.
Yeah, he's been topping the damage boards time and again across almost every single map. Even in losing maps, he ends up with the highest damage across the 12-man lobby. So it's been an impressive performance coming out from him here. Now it's going to be last second's opportunity to attack. Currently, no hover over that Gym Sniper. It looks like they want to stick with Zusi on the Zaku 2 ranged for themselves. On the other side, though, it looks like Baronox will be sticking with that Gym Sniper here on the defense.
Well, it honestly worked really, really well for a huge portion of the game. I mean, the switch at the end made a lot of sense, of course, but I do really like how effective it was, even on that first point. It's great to see. I assume that there's a chance that we will be seeing the switch again. I think you mentioned this, but Zusi still being on the Zaku 2 range for the offense is a pretty interesting choice. It's a great defensive suit for sure, just because it can sit in those tight hallways, but as it's trying to get across this kind of open area, pushing this first point, there is definitely the chance for it to get picked off. We'll see how this works out.
Yeah, they're going to take the safe angle, though, creating, avoiding a lot of the LOS. Zusi is just able to walk up right now. So we'll see if he can go for that corner peek. Axe has already been tossed down. They could actually call that one out and maybe have the advantage in this zombie fight. They're not pushing quite yet. Axe, long range coming up from Gasman there into the sky. Blue Jay is the first one to get focused down, though. David across the corner is able to take him out with those bits. And so now playing with the man down, not able to get the res. Enders will fall, though, on the other side. Zusi charges forward to try and take out James, but he survives and backs away with the rest of his squad. The repair has gone down to get their zombie back on in. Gasman charges forward with the rest of the squad, and they find the opening. That's the waypoint going over the last second, and now they will not relent on the pressure.
Oh, you'd love to see such a quick take on that point. We've seen so many people get walled off at that point right off the bat, but this is going to go to maybe not quite a plant yet, but at least the pressure on this first point immediately. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left. The plant is being attempted on B. It's rare that we actually see a bomb go down on B. I don't know what kind of defense they have up there, but we can see so many of Team Last Second rotating up to try and get this this defensive spot, basically. This choke point hold, I guess you could say.
No, we don't have any G maneuvers online, but it's okay because James is there. It's a trade, though. Zusi is able to back him up and get that repair along with that pickoff on the gas band, though. You can see things are starting to fall apart now so far as the Mega Charge does get defused throughout all of the chaos. So it's back to spawn for last second here, as they do actually pick up a few members, and they might have an opportunity to get another Mega Charge down.
Yeah, that was kind of a lot of weird 1v1s that they just won all at once. I was like, oh, they got a pick. I'm like, wait a minute, 4 people are down. We're seeing the Heathawk Slash just come up for Zusi. That's going to be a really useful tool for what's about to happen here, as we are now playing down on A. B was not the pick, apparently. A can be a little bit easier to defend in certain situations, but we're seeing, David actually staying way back here with that new Gundam G maneuver.
Heathawk Slash allows the follow-up on the 2 kills there for last second. They have a slight man advantage until they lose out on Blue Jay, unfortunately. Norky is going to go ahead and pop his G maneuver, try to go for that res, and he will get the repair. Big plays coming out from last second here. 22 seconds remaining on that Mega Charge, and no one is going to be able to touch it. This is the point where you just fall back. You have no G maneuvers to try and make the play. Zyros was close to that punch along with James, but now they're trying to catch these staggers, trying to take them out here, and a few more members are staggering in for those spawns. Huge play coming out from last second here. They should be able to snowball this straight into the waypoint.
David gets 1 pick, but that is the only pick. I agree. This is exactly looking like the last round. There's the opposite sides. Side switch, just a really good push on the first point, an immediate snowball into this waypoint, and now a really tough defensive position for the side of Char. And, it did end up being defended, but now we'll see if Char can do the same thing back to them.
See, with another pick, that's Gasman going down. So finally slowing down the tempo just a bit there on to the last second side. Another one going down. That's Exponent falling here. So this is the opportunity for Char to fully regroup, maybe make a concerted effort to try and take away this waypoint. They are on top of it right now. They're committing a little bit onto it. They will be able to actually flip that waypoint. So slowing down the progress of last second. This is a huge momentum shift.
And the biggest thing here is that now that they've got the waypoint and they had such a clean team kill, they are going to force last second into this choke point. And I like I mentioned, I actually do personally think this is a tougher choke point to break through than the one on Harbor City. And I mean, I'm not saying it is for sure. I just feel like it is for myself at least, because again, there's no aerial mobility. You are trapped in a box that you have to just walk through.
This is the kill chamber here, and you got to be careful for trying to charge up, but they do have a few G maneuvers that will allow them to do it, and there it is, the Screaming Nimbus charging into the backline, but it's countered by Enders with a Screaming Nimbus of his own, followed up by the bits coming out from Kaiser, and the punch from Zyros to finish it all off there. It looks like Char only lose out on 1, but they end up getting the repair as well. So now, last second, are now down to 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and they have not been able to touch either site quite yet.
I gotta say, amazing to defend that basically with just that singular G maneuver, right? Just the Screaming Nimbus. So the resources still even on the side of Team Char. Eventually, we're gonna be building back up to, I think, a fight with a ton of G maneuvers. One of them's gonna be used right here off the Alligator, popping that Hades. They are staggering their own G maneuvers on defense. It's working very, very well, but we're gonna see 2 picks now on the side of Team Char, and Wiki's gonna move in with this G maneuver of their own. David might go down to this as well, and this is gonna be an opportunity to retake this waypoint.
This is still a win for the defense, though, forcing out G maneuvers just for that waypoint. The punch out from X going to strike this on Kaiser. The follow-up damage is there with the help of Amano. And now, with a minute and 30 seconds, they still need to get onto the point. They still need to get the Mega Charge down for Char. They're only going to be relying upon a Heat Hawk Slash to try and create an opening for them, but James is still struggling to try and find that opening. No, he's going for the back half instead, and he takes away the waypoint from last second. Big plays coming out from them as now they're fighting with the flank, and that's going to be the 2, 3, 4 picks coming out for Char, and now last second are struggling.
Oh my gosh, the switch again, may I note, from off the Alligator going to that Pale Rider. That has just been an absolute MVP choice on this particular site. Those medium ranges are so good for Pale Rider. That's already in a great spot. This is incredibly tough for last second. They need to push through, basically get a full team wipe, get the waypoint, get the plant down without anybody respawning and fighting them. This needs to be just the ultimate team fight.
They were able to get the Mega Charge down, but it was basically instantly defused, and now they need to do it again with 37 seconds, and they need to secure 73.6%. Now for last second, a little low on the HP bar. That Gasman going down to the feed. Again, another repair trade coming out. And this has been such a battle between these two teams, but it looks like Char might have been able to do it, finding more picks on the tail end there with only 17 seconds remaining. They've neutralized the waypoint, send them back to the original spawn, and you can see they're charging forward with the Hades to finish it all off. It's going to be Char taking map number 1.
That waypoint was stolen back by James was gigantic. I really cannot stress that enough. Losing that waypoint on that particular site is the difference between spawning 5 seconds away from the Mega Charge site or spawning 20 seconds away from the Mega Charge site. It is just a gigantic difference. It allowed them to fight back into the choke point where they were held off for another minute or a minute and a half, and it just didn't give them the opportunity to ever fight their way back into that game. So a recapture, while it's not always the easiest thing to be able to do, having the extra mobility of that Zakutu range helped them do that so well, and it was a great decision.
And I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, but this is why I am really coming more into the camp of the destruction maps, having the extra talking points of the objectives, not just the waypoint, but the plants as well. There's just so many different ways to approach these fights, and having that extra factor puts so much more depth into the gameplay. While I still love myself some good 6v6s on domination, I am definitely falling more into the camp of destruction. That was map number 1, though, and we are going to go ahead and take a short break. We'll have map number 2 here in the lowers finals right after this. Welcome back to Best of the West, and here is the map summary from map number 1 of our lower bracket finals. Char taking the win there, and oh man, David is continuing to just dominate this damage board, and it's absolutely incredible. Almost 60,000 damage, Wonder.
Every single time that we go to a stats page for David, my eyes open real wide, and I know that like maybe production can see it, but nobody else can. And it's like, oh my gosh! I mean,
a new high score, new high score.
Yeah. Let's just keep going. If Char ends up getting to grand finals, David can hit that 60K, maybe get to 70K. You know, just keep on going. But no, again, a ridiculously high damage game in general. But I mean, honestly, nobody else even hit 50K. David is definitely convincing me that after this tournament, I'm going to go and jump on ranked with some new Gundam and throw some games, but definitely going to try it at least, because that has been just unbelievable. And we haven't really seen, I mean, we see obviously like Wiki, for example, using the new Gundam well. We've seen a lot of really great new Gundam usage, but nobody is equaling that ridiculous defeat damage. It's just, it's something else.
Yeah, we need to know what's in the secret sauce, and I don't know if David is actually going to go ahead and give us that recipe, because, man, I would keep it secret myself. Just absolutely stellar job coming out from them, but not to be outdone. The rest of his squad, of course, really being able to utilize the space that he creates on that unit, and capitalize off the damage he actually ends up putting out. It's so fantastic to see this team just be able to play at this level right now. I believe, of course, our next map is going to be Quarry, if I remember correctly. Yeah, double destruction. So Quarry is going to be the next one. This is going to be interesting. This is where the question comes in to effect. What's going to happen to the compositional changes for last second when we get on this map?
Right, because like we saw earlier, they did have some general comp changes when they went to Underground Command Center. We saw the, well, actually, it looks like it might be kind of similar. Zusi was playing on Pale Rider earlier. Amano was playing on the Ashimar, which is, of course, a great suit for this this overall map. But it looks like they're going to be mostly sticking with what they're used to. However, I know we're all excited to see Gasman back on the Barbados. This is a Barbados-favored map. One could say it tends to pop off on this map, and so they're looking pretty much similar except for that.
Yeah, I think we have to call it the barbecue for Gasman in particular, right? I don't know if what he's cooking with, possibly propane at this point, but yeah, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that one, especially on the defense. We know how good it is when it comes to the counter dives, but it's not a full committal on dives when it seems like, you know, when the offense pushes out to try and fight for that waypoint. We're seeing a lot more staggered two-man pods running around and fight in that regard. For the offense, though, it doesn't seem like much is changing in the way of compositions for them. James is sticking with that Zaku 2 range. They'll have that matchup against Zusi to see who can apply a bit more pressure on that flanking unit.
I think it's great that they're sticking with the same thing. I mean, the big thing is Offbeat Alligator, of course, is not starting with the Gym Sniper, which makes a lot of sense. The sight lines on this first point are pretty short a lot of the time. You can get some picks with Sniper, but the overall, the Pale Rider is going to do so much damage, especially if, you are such a strong Pale Rider player. So we're already going to see quite a few members of Team Char pushing for that top high ground, which is a great way to push down. And there's not a lot of AoE on the other side. However, Armor James will go down to the mine.
Yeah, small little mind games coming out from Gasman there. He's actually not playing up top yet. He's just waiting for his initial one. Oh, he gets instantly spotted out. James survives that one, backs away, but last second find the picks here to stop the push for now. Gasman still waiting on the corner, waiting for that health pack. At the very least, as X1 is slowly healing up, James pushes forward, and he ends up forcing him back.
James went down, got picked up, went down, got picked up within like 10 seconds. And it's still now a huge force to be reckoned with. That waypoint is being captured. That was a great push. They melted down Exponent and were just able to push through with a little bit less defense on that team. And immediately they're going to be pushing, it looks like at least 3 to B. We've seen both of these sites be potentially planted, but Gasman holding this great angle, and that's going to be huge. Zyros doesn't have a lot of great places to escape. The charge is not going to be able to full combo from the slam anymore, so we'll see how many kills we can actually get by just starting with that, but that's at least going to stop the offense from getting the plant they want.
Yeah, James is trying to pull the defensive part of it a little bit, maybe catch someone out on the back side and pull them on over to the ace sites. as the offense haven't decided yet exactly where they want to plant. They want a cleaner one than this. They haven't been able to get a clean fight quite yet. You can see a lot of focus now being put towards this B site. James still in the back line trying to find the people who are coming back from the respawns here. Another trade. It's going to be Vernox going down, but that's Exponent falling on the other side and losing out on the tank line. You can see why it's so dangerous here. Blue Jay in the face of the Zazabi has to back away. He ends up going down. Now the quick start coming in for Char, but it's not quite as clean as they want it. They do get enough, and now the Mega Charge going down, but there's the stun out to slow things down. Exponent with a huge axe there to stop them.
And it looked like there was a little bit of a split there. We saw the planting the Mega Charge double bar, which is something you very rarely ever see, especially on such a split map like this. And actually, none of them went down. I mean, David took out so many people, but by the time every single person had started running back, you know, like they just hadn't planted yet. And that was just maybe because they didn't have enough people on one site, but still no Mega Charges down. Off the Alligator, Vernox is sitting here with the Hades available. This might be what they need to push this site down.
They've got the punch, they've got the Screaming Nimbus. Cyrus is low though. And this is the difficulty in this meta right now. When we don't have the double support composition without the healers, it takes so much longer to try and heal up. Zeusy going for a nice little cheeky play. We'll go ahead and neutralize that relay and send them back basically to their original spawn. They cannot lose out on anyone here, or things will be really bad for them. There's a trade though. Enders for Blue Jay, Dom for Dom as Amato charges forward with that 80s now. But you can see Excellent cutting back from the defense. The waypoint is captured once again for the offense here, but that's a small little consolation prize for them. They do have 5 G maneuvers online. Exponent, the only one on the other side, but Gasman is getting close to that Barbados G maneuver.
Ooh, they're not going to have many more opportunities here. I mean, this is a 5G maneuver push, and I think they need to use whatever they can. They don't know each other. Oh, everybody just ran away. Oh no, Ender's just trying to find somebody on the enemy team. I mean, that was great mobility to get out of there, but this is going to be the punch. This is going to be the Hades. It's going to be the Screaming Nimbus. It's going to be everything except for Kaiser's funnels. But regardless of that, there's still a good amount of picks. A lot of members of Char going down. It looks like they will get the plant down, but they are not super healthy here on the point, and Gasman coming in, preventing the Mega Charge from being planted. How many more picks can he get? We are going to see at least one running away. I think that was Enders running away, but I mean, this is a huge G maneuver to stop that plant.
Absolutely massive, and I want to say that was his first G maneuver of the game as well. He's been biding his time on that one. David is still trying to maintain presence here over on the 8 site. But someone needs to touch the point. Screaming Nimbus to come in, and it's a complete shutdown from last second.
Oh, that looked like such a perfect opportunity for Char, but then Gasman just literally jumps up out of nowhere, just like coming from behind, like a Titan peeking over the wall, and just immediately just swing, swing, swing. Like, what a play to save that moment. I mean, that was going to be the biggest foothold that Char was going to get that entire game for sure, and honestly, a pretty low damage game overall. There were a lot of brawls, but there was never any full team wipes, and I think that was what really prevented Char from being able to get that plant, was there was always somebody able to rotate around either from the center or from the other point to get back and stop them from just even getting the plant off.
And also want to really point out how well last second were able to keep track of the G maneuvers. They knew that a Screaming Nimbus was coming in. That last push we saw when they went for it, there was no one. No one for the first, half of that G maneuver, first half of the Screaming Nimbus on that screen until Enders was finally able to find them. It looked like a game of hide and seek here in Gundam Evolution. And so great tracking coming out from last second to just counter it by not being there whatsoever, forcing out so many more G maneuvers because of that small presence of mind coming out from that squad.
It was so funny, too, because there was like 4 people there, and then Enders uses the Screaming Nimbus and turns the corner, and there's just nobody. It was just so funny. I mean, it was a great Screaming Nimbus, but there was just such an out-of-sight, preemptive, just maneuver away from the entire team that was just amazing. So it just looked funnier than it actually even was. But here we go. There was not a lot of time. This offense is going to just have to get the plant and just barely hold on to it.
We didn't get to note the Barbados swap off from Gasman. He is going to be back on that Sazabi. And so they won't have that same kind of presence here again. All they have to do is try to get 25% basically towards the progress of that plant. And it looks like last second will be able to clean up the last remaining members of Char, as David on the retreat is able to pick up Zusi at the very least, but he is going to be repaired. This match, by the way, I think we've seen the most repairs in this match than all the matches combined.
I'm glad it's on the stat page because I agree with you. And a lot of them have been on the Zakutu range for whatever reason, but I'm excited to see how many we actually get in the end overall. And also no suits that have any repair abilities, any extra repair abilities, just like straight up raw repairs, which is really cool to see. But we need to see the plant get down somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where last second is going to try and get this down. We see the little Zakutu ranged mirror going on right here, zooming around each other, but finally we see a little bit of an assist from Gasman and Exponent, not allowing the duel. Hey, the duel is cool, let him do it, let him cook, but we might get a plant down here on A, except for Enders is in a great position, and somebody else was up there as well, Zyros, to stop that. That high ground makes it difficult. Bomb going down, though, on B, only 15 seconds needed.
This is absolute chaos. There's a fight over the waypoint, and now there's a fight over this bomb. He does stop them from getting that defuse. Someone needs to touch it right now, but it is not looking good for them. 2 seconds remaining here, and James is taken out, and that's going to be last second, tying things up 1-1.
Oh, I'm excited for map number 3. That was an incredibly difficult spot to actually defend. The fact that there was just almost no progress in general made that just ridiculously difficult. Wow, I've almost never seen that. You very rarely see the new Gundam MVP, but David, of course. I don't think anybody's going to be super surprised if that's another top damage. I do want to see the repairs, but mostly I want to see a map 3. I'm super excited. I mentioned before, I felt like Team Last Second was not playing at their usual level earlier in the bracket, because honestly, like, not to say, not in a negative way, but they did get kind of run over by Team Char, and now it looks like they're playing much back up to what we're used to, and I expected the winner's bracket match to be close. This is more of what I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean, we have to know they're making a lot of swap offs, a lot of overlapping roles, and of course, the Suzabi pickup I think is one of the biggest changes in terms of the composition. Having Gasman, when he does have to swap on over to that threats of Gasman is a little bit neutralized when they end up going for that one. He's still a good Suzabi regardless. I'm not gonna knock him for that, and it's great to see that he does have a really deep pool for his team to be able to flex upon. But it seems like, yeah, they are slowly regaining their kind of identity, or at least figuring it out as they go along. Having that run through the lower bracket might actually have worked out for them. Just the extra practice with having to flex around that. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we get back, we'll have the conclusion of this map. It's map number 3 here to finish things off in the lower bracket for the best of the West. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Best of the West, and here's the map summary for map number 2 on Quarry. No surprises, of course. That was a shorter map, so we didn't get to see as high of damage numbers, but David still is going to go ahead and top that for his squad, and actually in the lobby with 26,000 damage.
And you did mention, of course, how many repairs there were. And the interesting thing is that it was almost all on the side of last second, right? There are a total of 7 repairs in, honestly, a pretty quick match overall. So you can just tell that people were going down in positions that were a little bit safer, which is not a kind of thing that you have to think about, a strategy you have to think about in most games, but it's huge in this game, right? I was talking about especially how Ashmars can go down in safe spots where they can fall behind cover, but the same thing, for example, with Zaku 2 ranged, and Last Second played that extremely well, using the cover even if they were going to go down in safer spots. That probably did lead a lot to how well they did on that last map.
Yeah, and of course, you also have the dashes, right? So if you know you're going to go down, dash behind a corner, and you will be relatively safe to get picked up, but we also have the extra defensive units that come in to allow that to happen as well, from that new Gundam, providing the extra shields to be able to make it that much safer. I mean, we got to see almost a mid-fight repair, I believe, when we were at Underground Command Center. But here we go. It's map number 3. We don't know if this will be the final map in this set because there is an opportunity, of course, on Harbor City for us to tie and then end up going to a tiebreaker.
That is true, but if we don't get to that, this is, of course, tournament life for either of these teams. Incredible teams, both of them absolutely deserve to be here, but again, this is Best of the West. We're trying to see who the best is. This is a winner-takes-all tournament, so yes, third place is amazing. I mean, all of these players deserve so much, of course, but the prize is going only to first, and one of these two teams has to go up and fight against Mafty, but which one will it be? They're 1-1 in the set. This could obviously go either way. I expect a great match from both these teams.
And if you want to contribute to the pool, make sure you check out our Matcherino page as well. That's where you can help out. There are free quests that you can help to contribute to the prize pool without having to contribute money yourself. So go ahead and check that out. But for now, let's go ahead and get back to the game. It is game number 3. Offbeat Alligator. Baronox is back on that Gym Sniper. No sniper on the side of the defense, though. So this could be the difference maker. We've seen some great plays out of our sniper players all day long.
Also, the fact that we are not going to have the sniper on Last Second, just to start things off, we're going to be going with the new Gundam and the Hyperion. The Hyperion coming out of X-Men, who has been extremely strong on this, and this was a tiebreaker map that was chosen by Last Second. We've seen that they're very, 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 very good at this map. I have to say it 5 times, and so we'll see if they can continue with their usual strategy, or if they're going to find anything new here.
Yeah, they're opting for a little bit more utility when it comes to that bridge hold after a point gets taken. 2 quick pickoffs coming out from Last Second there onto the defense. It looks like Devotion will be able to charge forward with that shield. Does he give his life for it? He does. Exponent following up on that. So even though the repair goes down, it's a net even overall across the board. And now they send them back once more. So Char will have to approach this one more time.
The offensive positioning is really strong right now. Oh, we're actually going to see, it looks like this is a scoped in Offbeat Alligator looking for those picks. This has actually been one of the first times that Offbeat Alligator has been on this map and not gotten a pick right off the bat, and in fact gone this long without getting a pick. I just assume that has to go to the fact that the defense is holding in great positions, but oh my gosh, X-Men getting melted right there.
Zyros thought he was sneaky, but he did end up getting caught out. Never mind, he finds the kill onto Blue Jay. That might be the opening that Char we're looking for, but take a look at the HP bars across the board. Everyone is so low, allowing Last Second to capitalize off of that. David, though, he's just been a one-man army. He is still alive. We'll see if he can get out of this once they can regroup a little bit faster.
Yeah, I mean, just having that ability to damage from so far away on both sides with the new Gundam, using the funnels is huge, right? I mean, you have fall off on the actual gun, but you don't really have a fall off. You just have a maximum range for the actual funnels, and also, of course, this G maneuver popping off, being used really early to try and guarantee this site. They are going to get at least that first tick, but nobody's actually standing on it. Someone needs to get back on it. You can see actually Kaiser backs up like, wait a minute, whoa, hold on. We could be capping this entire time. We're just wasting time as they are destroying this team fight. David with like 3 of those kills. That's going to be everybody sitting here trying to get a forward position if they can, but a quick take, relatively quick take for the side of Char.
Yeah, Char leaving nothing to chance whatsoever. They're making sure everyone is cleared out now. A little bit of a staggered fight. As you can see, a few members have been... Oh, what? The jump over from Kaiser gets the flank. Gasman low. He will go down. Exponent survives, but that's a zombie going down. Kaiser will fall, but it looks like the Veed ends up getting repaired by Devotion here. So it looks like it's going to be just a waiting game here as they're waiting for Kaiser to get on back. But Amano in the mid-air duels with the help of the rest of the squad will take out Zyros.
Oh, Zusi getting out there with like 5 HP left. Has the Hades though, so really doesn't want to have to leave this fight. That's going to be a really good counter to whatever happens next. I mean, we've got 3 up on the side of last second, and they might be using them now. Kaiser activating the G maneuver. Same thing with Zyros. It's going to be funnels and punch, but they're going to go down so quickly. Wiki using that new G maneuver to absorb so much of that damage and just stand there in the front line, hoping to at least absorb a lot of this focus, and it does end up doing that. It looks like they are once again Char being backed up, but they've still got so much time on the clock.
Gasman repaired just to be sent down once again, so the man advantage is here for Char. They've got the Screaming Nimbus though on the Blue Jay side, and there we go. He instantly pops it, charging forward with his squad. They find 2 kicks off of it. He did end up committing another G maneuver into it. Blue Jay is able to back away just in time. Exponent, even though he's a little bit low, that armor gives him a bit more confidence to charge forward. Now, for the last second, they still have 2 G maneuvers online to use for this defense. And Char are running out of time, down to 2 minutes here, and they haven't even been able to touch the point quite yet.
I'm sorry, did that Screaming Nimbus... Oh, wait, hold on a minute, Lancer. Oh, and a great counter Screaming Nimbus to stop so much of that effect, and that is going to be Ender taking out at least 2 people with that, and of course getting the assist on quite a few other people going down. There's only, I think, 1 person left, and that's going to be Gasman going down as well. It's a full team wipe. There's not a ton of people left up on the side of Char, but they can at least run forward, try to get this forward positioning. They might get on the point. Ender's running back relatively quickly. That was an amazing counter G maneuver.
Yeah, Susie doing a great job there at the end of the fight as well. Even as he was retreating, he finishes his downs and makes sure that a 3-man group of Char cannot just push onto the point for early positioning. But now, the team fight advantage going in the favor of Char as they do have that Hades ready to pop when they need it. Offbeat Alligator taking a lot of damage. Has to be careful, chasing one down low. It's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange. Exponent going down. Kaiser falls on the other side. It's a 5v4 in favor of the defense. Never mind losing out on 1 more, but Amano will go ahead and put it in their favor with that pick off the feed. Still finding these moments in the middle of the fight to continue to find picks. There's another one as he backs away, but we're seeing how disjointed these fights are. There's 2-3 skirmishes going on at any one time.
David taking this 1v6 comment very literally here, and honestly doing a great job of it. Oh, the punch gets eaten before it can go off. That's huge. Amano would have gotten maybe 2 knocks off the map from that, but instead, that is -1 G maneuver, -1 player on the side of last second. There's going to be at least 1 tick here. This is the best opportunity for Char so far.
They've got the Lancer ready as well. Devotion needs to get topped off. He's low, and he gets shut down as he tries to pop it, though. The Hades gets shut down as well as David trying his best to take it up. He's at 200 HP. Does not have any support line here to help him out. Last second comes in, but the 3rd tick was at least secured by Char, but the Hades will be enough to finish things off last second, putting a stop to them. Still, 78.7% secured by Char.
That is a lot. That is a lot for that point. I love the fact that we're seeing in a lot of our matches today, and this weekend in general, but today especially, we're seeing a lot of like 75%, 60%, 50% on these points from both sides. It's not always just going to be dominant one way or the other. It's about inches, not miles, right? Just who can get the slightly more percentage. And it's great to see because I just feel that means these teams are closer than they've ever been.
Yeah, I mean, we are here in a map number 3, so it can't get really much closer than that unless we get a tiebreaker, but it's not possible anymore. It is not possible anymore. The win condition is set and has been set by Char. 78.7%. Last second, just need to top that one now. Taking a look at the composition coming out from the defensive side. They are not going to be running the Gem Sniper on the defense. Offbeat Alligator will be sticking with that Pale Rider. On the other side, though, it's going to be a double hit scan. Zusi on that Pale Rider, and Amano, of course, picking up the Gem Sniper.
I wonder if they're going to be holding as far forward as usual with this comp. It is a very interesting comp. They're going to have to fight a lot more mid-range than the long range usually that we tend to see on this map. I do know that there are some particular angles, like there's that one little step up over the building on the actual site that a lot of people tend to like to play and just kind of catch people approaching. But if they do play too far back, of course, that puts them in the risk of just being sniped by a mono. So we'll see exactly how they choose to play it. Just the fact that we see Gym Sniper on one side and not on the other, we're seeing it a lot today, and it makes a huge difference.
Now here we go, the rollout coming out from last second. Can they get that upper bracket run once again to face off against Mafty in another grand finals? Is coming down to his final attack phase for last second. Amano looking for an angle with this Gym Sniper as the rest of the team pushes forward. Blue Jay a little bit low though. Enders has spotted him and is trying to get that chip damage away. David will be able to finish off Wiki with the help of Offbeat Alligator, taking out 3 members of the offense now. And so it looks like the team's just struggling here on that A-side offense.
Ooh, yeah, that is going to be basically a full team wipe. We still have a mono sniping. Gets the pick on Offbeat Alligator. Gets picked back up, though. The problem is they're just not going to have a great time following this up. Of course, not pretty much anybody up. David, though, going down. That's actually huge. David, a huge reason why they weren't able to make that push. So much damage. The hack's just barely going to the side of the building here from the side of Kaiser.
Man, this instant pressure as well. We did it. We took out the raid boss. Go. Finish off the raid. They are pushing onto the point right now, and the retreat has been signaled from Char. They will go ahead and back away. Now the difference here, Amano, he's at 74%. We'll give them that extra little bit of information. If he can tag a few more members to get that for his squad.
Oof, yeah, that was actually just like, okay, David's down, go in. And that pick's not easy to get either because, of course, New Gundam has that 1200 HP, that high level of HP that's just going to make it so much tankier. That's part of why it's so scary. And the fact it's got a lot more mobility now. But here we go. This is where it matters. 4 minutes and 15 seconds. We need to see last second get at about 70, or actually it's exactly 78.7% of this site. Otherwise, they are going out at 3rd place.
Oh, great idea coming out from Char. They actually back away from the wall, waiting for this jump on over, and they predicted that push from last second. You see Kaiser going down over there. He should get repaired up and brought back in, but Kaiser was basically backed up all the way towards that mini health pack there, waiting for that jump over from Amano to make sure they do not get punched or maybe flamed down. So great presence of mind coming out from Char. This is just a mind game. Both teams kind of predict each other's movements throughout the game.
Oh, David just playing the corner so well, activating that G maneuver, just using that shield, taking the offensive peak right here. We've seen David go for that a lot, really pushing in, trying to ban out a lot of the shots, and the team tends to follow up, but it kind of goes the other way. We are going to get picks on both sides. We're going to see X-Men get picked back up, and that is actually really huge. It's looking decently even, but it looks like Char is going to be cleaning up a lot of these kills. Maybe not. Still kind of like 2-3, 3-3 on point. A little bit awkward.
Yeah, the repairs come in though for Char, and they will be able to establish themselves back onto this bridge. A lot of great G maneuvers online. Zyrus has the punch. We've got Enders with that screaming Nimbus. And of course, the Hades to follow things up. Devotion is close as well, along with Kaiser. And the power difference is actually pretty big, this chasm between Char and last second. You see, but the Hades might be able to get something going here. But here's the screaming Nimbus. Enders is the back line. And that's all they're going to use here, actually popping the Hades just in case as Amano tries to get into the back line. Suzabi goes down, Gasman has fallen, and they will be able to clean up last second once more. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That is what their time bank has been dwindled down to.
I mean, honestly, it was nice for safety, but that Hades was almost unnecessary. That Screaming Nimbus cleaned up that team so cleanly. It's not like they're hurting for resources, though. They've still got the funnels, they've still got the punch. But here we go, New Gundam Shield to move in, but the Lancer, that's gigantic!
Oh, that is why we see That coming in, the Hyperion pick for Char. They know having that extra bit of utility, that extra G maneuver that they can try and rotate through. But it is not as clean as they would like. You have to be careful. Zuzi is on that run back, and that's going to allow Gasman to possibly push forward. Drop low. Devotion will ultimately go down now. That's not the V falling, though. The go signal quite isn't there yet. You can see everyone is just scrambling for that mini health pack or for that health pack. Hey, I need to heal up. Gasman going in. He pops his funnels as well. You can see the flex back from Char to try and deal with this push, and Gasman gets punished for it. Amano will fall next. Zyros picking up 2 on his way down.
Oh, an amazing flame grenade. That stopped the res completely. That could have been everything right there. Goppy Alligator is going to get picked on Wiki as well, and that's going to be, again, so many members of Last Second going down. There's only 1 minute left. I think they need to just hold on. They're going to have Exponent's Lancer soon. They're going to have Blue Jay's Screaming Nimbus, but there are no counter G maneuvers. They need to use these. They need to make them count 100%. This is their last chance fighting for their tournament life here in Best of the West.
They need to utilize the G maneuver just to get to the point, just to break this hold. Blue Jay gets that pick onto Devotion now as they charge forward. 65, you can see Char just backing away, trying to buy some time to build up that G maneuver meter. Enders is close, 86%. Now Exponent sitting on that Hyperion G maneuver. He's got the punch as well, but Amano has no help to back that one up. They are on the point, about to secure their first pick. Another pick comes on out, but that's 2 members going down on the side of Last Second. The punch along with the Lancer utilized here just to keep things alive. Gasman is on point, needs to survive as David charges forward. Zusi is there to try and back him up, but he's taking the 1v3. He will ultimately go down. The second tick coming in, but the respawns are slowly trickling in for Char. Offbeat Alligator on the point. Enders now coming in with that Screaming Nimbus. Does not stop the res, and now he is left to try and clean things up. Cyros with a 2-man punch, knocking off Gasman as well, and it looks like Char might have been able to do it. They are still losing out on some members, but David has shown up in force, and that will be it. Char put a stop to Last Second. They secure the 2-1, and now they're going back up to the grand finals for another rematch to finish off the day.
Wow, that was incredibly close. They just needed like one more tick. That was all down to just barely holding on long enough for the players to come back with the resources. They had to wait just long enough for Enders to come back, use that Screaming Nimbus just long enough for Zyros to come back with that punch. If they had not held on just barely on that site defensively, that was GG for sure. That would have been a usual last second win, but that entire set came down to about 20% of that point. That is as close as that gets. That was amazingly played from both sides. An incredible last push from Last Second, but they didn't quite make it. They will be going out at 3rd place today, but absolutely zero to be ashamed of. Amazing set.
And it came down to a lot of just great individual plays right there. We're seeing why David is really pulling for his chances to get MVP overall of the tournament there. That 1v3 to be able to take out one, stay alive long enough, contest a point. That was just an excellent way to finish off this set. Of course, some of us were hoping for a map number 4 in this set because it was just a beautiful matchup between the two squads, but we couldn't have asked for a better finish there. Now we've got the rematch in the grand finals, Mafty versus Char.
Oh, that's going to be such a good one. I kind of feel like that little win right there is going to help Char feel that much better about how they did. And I mean, they did extremely well. Another big MVP moment that I want to point out is there were 3 huge Screaming Nimbuses from Enders. You know, Enders on that previous map got that hilarious Screaming Nimbus that just everybody ran away from, and he was playing hide and seek, and he was like, no, never again. So he got nearly a full team wipe with his first one in that choke point on B here. Actually, there was a funny moment where it looked like he launched somebody into the air. He had an amazing second one in a very similar place, and then that last one was literally the game-winning moment. So here we go. We can see the damage. I think we all know who's first.
Yeah, my eyes just scanning for the highest number, and of course, it's no surprise. David, 50,000 damage there on that new Gundam. Absolutely incredible performance coming out from him. Not to be outdone, though. I mean, It's so difficult because we love all of these teams. And so we want to highlight as many of the players as possible. Amano doing a great job, 40,000 damage on that Ashmar for his squad.
I know. I really like even the players who we don't get a chance to like say that their damage is huge. Players like Kaiser, you know, for example, lowest damage on the team, but one of the most key players was one of the biggest reasons why they were able to even make that happen, right? There was a push over the side that really initiated a lot of what really made that a winning game for Team Char. It's just every single player is so good at this high level. If anybody was a weak link, it would show immediately. So just amazing stuff to both of these teams. It's just like at this point in the tournament, you just hate to see any of the teams get knocked out because it feels like everybody deserves to move forward, but you know, only one can. And so we're down to 2 teams who will be fighting for the title of Best of the West. It's going to be Char and it's going to be Mafty. I'm super excited for both of them to play it out.
That's right. 2 teams remaining, $1,000 on the line, and it's only winner takes all. Mafty versus Char with the rematch from the winners finals, but this time around, it's going to be a best of 5. Hopefully, we can get all 5 maps. We're going to go ahead and take a short break while we get that set up. When we get back, it'll be the grand finals of the Best of the West right